look at the Irish tea out there, and happy St. Patrick's Day. This is a happy Friday. We are so happy to be here. Of course, that was the Fricashinas, which brought us in with one of my favorite songs. Look, it gets stuck in your head. If you're not singing Happy Friday on Saturday and Sunday, then I don't know what you're doing with your time. Mile High Life is the premier podcast network that we are brought to you by. So many great other fellow Denver podcasters on there. Definitely check it out. If you're listening to us on YouTube, definitely go check out our audio as well. Audio downloads mean so much to the mission, drive, and purpose of what we do here at Happy Friday, and we appreciate everybody's support in every single area. And of course, I am the MC of the evening, Arthur Raw, and I am joined by two dapper gentlemen. I'm going to bring Jon in first, the long-run showrunner.
Seamus O'Shaughnessy here with you. Thank you, Pop, for a good show. I'm John Ekstrom. I'm actually Swedish. Fuck that. Happy Friday to you. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thought I'd do a little fun there for you.
Love it. I love it. And look, you bring the great energy in. You're looking festive. You're good to go. He's able to give out pinches because neither me or my other co-host, the long-range lover Kevin, we're not wearing green.
I don't know what that means, but to the Solid Lad Nation, happy St. Patty's Day, happy Friday, Denver. So stoked to be back with you
You don't know what that means?
No.
We'll remind you later. All right,
so it's a great day to be alive in the Denver city. It's St. Patrick's Day. I took today off, so I'm actually taking this whole day to myself, and I'm just having a great time. But we do have the holiday upon us, John.
Yeah, happy Friday. St. Patrick's Day held on March 17th. The traditional, I stole this from Wikipedia, by the way, so this is unimpeachable, right from the best source on the planet, of course. The foremost patron saint of Ireland, it commemorates St. Patrick and the arrival of Christianity in Ireland, okay, and celebrates the heritage and culture of the Irish in general. So St. Patrick's Day is a public holiday in the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, the Canadian province of Newfoundland and Labrador, and the British Overseas Territory of Montserrat. Shout out to all the people in Montserrat, of course, here, because we're huge in Montserrat. Right? Are we not? I mean, that's where, probably, 65% of our listenership is from?
Oh, yeah.
The British Principality of Montserrat.
At least.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you very much, Montserrat. Celebrated in the UK, Canada, US, Argentina, Australia, South Africa, and New Zealand, especially amongst Irish diaspora. It is celebrated in more countries than any other national festival.
I did not know that last piece.
So, which is interesting. I myself am not Irish. Mm-hmm. I have no Irish in me whatsoever, and no, I would not like any, but thank you. Are you guys Irish at all?
No, I'm a Polak.
Polak?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm full Polish, baby.
I'm 75% Swedish and 25% German.
I got a little bit flavor of the Irish in me.
And it came out, that was perfect.
12% over here. Yeah.
Do you really?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Well, you got
so
more
like
than
an
all of
eighth.
I mean, that's why I always get all flushed out.
Because you have a little Irish in you?
Yeah, isn't it?
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So my wife, she has some Irish, some UK in her, and our daughter's name's Sloan, which is Gaelic for warrior.
Oh, I did not know that.
It's an Irish name, and so we tell any Irish person, they're like, "Your daughter's name's Sloan?" We're like, "Yeah." And they love that, but it's Sloan Ekstrom, so she's like this weird Irish Swede.
Sloan Ekstrom.
Yeah,
that's an epic name.
It's phenomenal, and it's not taken on Twitter or anything because it's it's an odd combination of names. I want to ask you guys. So you're a little bit Irish.
Yes.
You're not, but we have some favorite Irish people, right? We got to name some favorite Irish people that we have.
Oh yeah, Declan Horgan right out of the gate for sure. Good guy. He's been a chef on a lot of programs. He's been on our show a few times. Great friend.
Nice.
He's one of the few true Irish guys that I can actually call a friend that we've hung out with, had some fun with, had on the show, had his barbecue sauce. Chef Declan Horgan.
Oh, cool.
I wish I knew Jer's last name, but the Solid Lad who introduced us to the Solid Lad saying, and look, when you Jer,
the awfully Irish.
Yeah. When you taught us the Solid Lads, it created a whole new movement. There's Solid Lad moves. There's Solid Lad case closes. There's Solid Lad chugs. You got super solid lads, solid lad legends.
Yes.
So the Irish, they have a big influence around the world, and I think they're solid lads.
Okay, so I got to give a couple. We haven't talked about any women. Let's go with Becky Lynch, the first woman to ever main event WrestleMania.
Oh, nice.
She took on Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. That was a phenomenal event. Another Irish wrestler, Finn Balor. Finn Balor is terrific. Dave King. We were listening to Floggin' Molly right before we started here. He's the lead singer of Floggin' Molly. That's one of my favorite bands. There's a ton of them. I mean, Liam Neeson, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. Oh, really? Is Sean Connery?
No, he's Scottish.
He's Scottish.
Scottish.
So it's kind of close.
Well,
But it is, but
it's different.
Yeah.
they get a
And
little
I
offended.
think they'd be pissed.
That's what I was going to say.
Well, forgive me. I mean, come on.
Yeah, fuck me, right?
Yeah, if you've listened to any of Happy Friday, you understand the kind of intellect I have.
Well, and so let's talk One Direction here real quick. Obviously, everyone in this room, huge One Direction fans, right?
You know, they had some
I have their
stuff
poster in
back
my
then.
bedroom.
Yeah. My favorite one is Niall Horan. So he's from One Direction.
It's all about the hair.
Yeah. Well, and he's a good-looking young fella.
Isn't the drummer of One Direction from Colorado?
I don't know. One Direction, no.
Okay.
Like those guys are British, man.
Yeah.
Like
Don't listen to me.
they're from the British Empire. So
Look, anybody who's listening to Happy Friday, you got to understand something. I don't know pop culture that well. Like, I don't know celebrity names. Like, I don't do sports either. It's like,
it makes you an interesting fit for this show.
I mean, that's and so I'll limp my way through these conversations as much as I can. But speaking on sports,
yeah.
March Madness.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
It's happening right now. It started yesterday. It's already underway. Pretty much everyone's bracket is already busted. You know how I know that? Because I hear that on Twitter every fucking year, no matter what happens in the tournament. Everyone's like, well, my bracket's cooked. And you go, well, yeah, that's what happens in this thing. It's a 68-team tournament.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to do well at. My wife actually won it one year despite knowing.
way.
Not
Really?
knowing. Yeah, oh, yeah.
Nailed the bracket.
Well, as much or better than anyone else in the pool, and won first prize.
That's
and
terrific.
Bought us a new headboard with it. So
oh, nice.
yeah, it was cool. If you guys get into it, great. Do you have a pick in this, Kev? I know you're not a big college basketball guy.
You know, I think just because of how well Alabama has done in sports across the board, I think I'm going to take the Crimson Tide. I see that they're kind of leading the charge right now. I didn't make a bracket, but if I had to pick someone that I think has some steam right now, I'm going to go with the Crimson Tide.
I'm not rooting for Alabama to do anything well. So my wife's family is from Kansas. Kansas #1 seed. Rock Chalk Jayhawk for me, I
The
guess.
Jayhawks.
But check
Okay.
out Mile High Sports. I'm sure they have tons of great coverage there. Some other stuff on Mile High Life. Kip Wilson, Scott DeHuff. They are, showing you where the parties are. Mile High Life is where to go. MileHighLife.com. Be sure to check that out. We're not your March Madness guys. If you're coming to us for us, you failed, you fucked up, go somewhere else.
Well said, John. Well said. Your thoughts on this, Art?
I mean, do we is Colorado? Do we even have a team in this right now?
I don't think so.
Okay, well then I'm not rooting for anybody, unfortunately.
You're rooting for beer, as usual.
For beer, I want to root for positive vibes and
Oh, God, don't do that.
detoxification of the mind, body, and soul. Okay,
Da-
because we are all filthy. Okay, we're all filthy.
Fair enough.
And you know what else can get a little filthy is politics. And we got a mayor candidate. Well, we have an election happening in Denver. There's 17 candidates, and I don't live in Denver County, so I can't vote on this.
Yep, I can't either, but John, you can.
I'm the only one.
Yeah.
So ballots dropped this week. Check your mailbox. There's some ballot measures, but the marquee race is the mayor race. So you mentioned 17. As of yesterday, it's actually 16 now.
Oh, okay.
So Kwame Spearman just dropped out, endorsed Kelly Brough. So that's one less person to consider. I think it's interesting as we go on because there's 3 weeks to return your ballot. Let's see who else drops out. Let's see what happens in those times. Maybe don't turn it in right away. I don't normally advocate for that, but there's such a huge field. Let's
Yeah.
see what happens. I don't want to ask you guys if you lived in Denver who you would vote for, but I do want to ask, what do you want to see out of Denver's next mayor? Like, what kind of vibe, what kind of policy, what are you looking for out of the leadership of Colorado's biggest city?
I mean, it's definitely a vibe that is going to fit in with the young demographic, right? And we had a chance to talk to one of the candidates recently, which was a lot of fun, and we'll talk more about that later. But I just want to see some progression. Like, one of the biggest things, like, his homelessness is a huge topic that keeps coming up. And for me, like, how do we help people mentally? So I would like to see some more money go into, like, mental health stuff and, proper teams to be dispatched to those type of situations where necessarily the police shouldn't be involved, and it should be somebody who is kind of a psychiatrist as well, can talk somebody down, and help people stand on their feet long term. I mean, I don't know how else you'd fix homelessness without that. But I mean, what do we do about all the? There's so many things.
Yeah, there's a lot of topics. I mean, politics. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Like I said on episode 200, we had the chance to visit with Leslie Herod, who's doing really well. I mean, she's raised a lot of campaign money.
I lived in her district for a time. I have nothing but positive things to say about Leslie Herod.
Yeah, and I would agree with that after now having a visit with her, not only on the stage for episode 200, but being able to sit with her and chat a little bit, kind of having that down-to-earth conversation. Somebody you can trust, right? I think that's the biggest thing with politicians is folks don't trust what their intentions are. They're just looking to line their pockets. So you hit on homelessness. I think that's a big topic. Taking care of our senior citizens, also, an important thing. And then holding police accountable. I mean, these are some of the three major talking points that I've seen as far as some of the Denver, constituents and what they want to see within this city.
So for me, what I want to see more than anything is a steady hand guiding the city. Someone we can look to and go, you know what? He or she has it. Like, I feel confident in their ability to solve some of these problems. And some of that comes down to granularity in terms of their plans for how they plan to implement some of the solutions that would solve some of these problems. I'd like to see a steady hand, and I'd also like to see some pride restored in the city. Because people have been down on Denver. Like, there are people who live outside the city. They're like, oh, I hate going down to Denver. It's like, man, fuck that. I love this city. I want to see some pride and some leadership restored to this city. No matter who is elected, I hope we can get back there to where Denver becomes the shining city on the hill.
Yeah, it is really important. I mean, we are a unique place. We have all these mountains around us, all these things that are so close and beautiful views, but also the type of weather conditions that we have out here, and also the logistics supply chain to actually get goods to Colorado. There's a lot of
unique place,
a lot of different components, and somebody that was a big component, and we want to celebrate their life a little bit. It's always sad to hear this kind of news, but Pat Schroeder, R.I.P.
Yeah, so longtime representative of Colorado District 1, someone I came to appreciate much later in life because growing up, my parents were conservative. My dad didn't much care for Pat Schroeder. And so I had a very sort of tainted view of her. But as I read about her later in life, I go, man, she was outspoken. She was very tough. She was a badass. Some of her male contemporaries go, you have no place on the Armed Services Committee. Or would ask her insane things like, so you're a legislator, but you're also a mother. How do you do both? And she said, I have a brain and a uterus, and I use both. And it's like, good. Like, a woman's place is in crafting policy. We need strong women to create good policy because they have a seat at the table, too. She was a fierce, fierce advocate for that, and I have deep, deep respect for her.
82 years old.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, John. That was one of the takeaways I saw was during that time there was a lot of scrutiny, right? We weren't seeing a lot of, moms and women leaders in politics at that time. So it definitely took that fierceness and that relentlessness. And a lot of people were like, look, you got 2 kids at the house. Well, we have no business being in legislation. It's like,
fuck that.
Yeah. So, no, I have a lot of respect for what she's done for the state. Obviously, been around a long, long time. I know the long-time Colorado listeners, probably have opinions on her. But
and good or bad, you have to respect her tenacity, her zeal, her outspokenness. It's total punk rock. Here's the other thing. She put herself through law school with her pilot's wages. She had her pilot's license. Man, like, you can't get more badass than that.
Through Harvard Law.
Ivy League law school because she was a pilot.
Yep.
A pilot, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's hard enough. Jesus.
Yeah. Getting that side hustle money.
So cool,
Doing
man.
flying to put herself through Harvard Law.
Badass woman. So rest in peace, Pat Schroeder.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I bet you she was badass at flying too.
I'll bet she was.
I wonder how long she continued to fly. Like, after, did she still fly when she was in politics too, or? You kind of
probably not.
You wonder though. You wonder, like, she's like, I got to go to this other district, so I'm just gonna.
Let me hop behind the wheel of this Cessna. Yeah.
R.I.P. celebration of life there, and we got a very hot, juicy, and sexy topic.
Oh God, I can't. I've been waiting all week for this one.
Yeah, coming up next here, Kevin. I'm going to let you drop the knowledge on this.
Oh, this is big, guys. I know if you're driving to work right now, you're like, ooh, give me the juice, Kev. What do we got? Well, I'm going to tell you this. A new Colorado law levies fees, back taxes for late vehicle registration, guys. Okay, so here's the deal. When you have, I know, you can feel it. It makes the hairs on my neck stand up. Your temporary tags, right? I literally was driving here today and I saw one that still said December of 2022. Okay, that was 3 months ago, guys. Look, you're gonna start paying up. That's the deal. No more getting away with these free rides. These 60, 90-day grace periods. You got to pay your dues, guys, and it's about damn time. Everyone's got to pay to drive on these streets. Pay your goddamn registration fees, guys. Your thoughts?
Wow, that turned even sexier when you got angry at the end.
I'm not angry. I'm happy.
This is why people come to Happy Friday.
That was assertive, and I agree. Okay,
for super hot takes like this,
yes.
For sexy content, like we talk about good vibes, we talk about having fun. Nothing sexier than talking about late registration for your car and people cracking down on it. Man, this one has everything. Authority, registrations, paperwork, bureaucracy.
You're missing
fucking amazing.
You're missing
I'm
the
so
best
thrilled.
part, the responsibility of doing things
God
on
damn,
time.
that's so good.
I know. No, but I could actually get behind this because, look, you got to just get your shit done.
I appreciate you trying to sell it,
No,
bro.
but if you get your shit done all the time, every time, and you're consistent about it, then all of a sudden your life starts to change. You do that for a year, your life really starts to change, and then all of a sudden you're on your shit. So get on your shit, people, and just do it so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, don't be a giant adult baby. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll talk more about that next week.
Yes, but that's a big takeaway of it. Get your shit done, get it dialed in order. No more free rides, guys. We're tightening up on you.
Yeah, and we're here to deliver that news to you in as sexy a way as possible. That's what we do.
Oh, that's the happy Friday wiggle right there. So while you're driving your vehicle, be careful this weekend. It is St. Patrick's today, and talking about drinking, Bears Brewing on Broadway.
Not possessive. Bear. Singular.
Bear Brewer.
Bear Brewing.
Bear Brewing on Broadway. We got a triple B alert. And what they're doing, we got new owners in there, and they're also more than likely going to add a kitchen, which is always super exciting. Get some food with your beverages. We got Kevin and Weston doing this. I'm excited to see what they do.
So Kevin Lind and Weston Scott own the Walnut Room. Have you guys been to the Walnut Room?
I have not.
It is phenomenal. They do Chicago-style like tavern pies, so like the
Yes.
Chicago thin crust, not the deep dish calzone, or not calzone, but like casserole bullshit. It's the tavern pie, which is more popular in Chicago. They do it better than almost anyone else in the city. And so the fact that these guys are owning it, I've been to Bear a bunch of times. Bear is terrific.
How many blocks away is it?
Many. But you know what? It is 2 blocks from where I get my haircut.
Okay.
So there's that.
So do you
That's
stop
not nothing.
in there?
So you get a cut and a drink.
No,
Yeah.
Well, no, not usually, because I mean,
You got
You're
other
a busy
shit to do.
man.
I am very, very busy.
You have a lot of irons in the
John
fire.
is a busy man. I walked through Hell's Half Acre out there.
Yeah, I got a lot of earth to till here.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I do. But the fact that they're taking over this place, it's a good brewery, it's good owners. It's cool to highlight some awesome Denver shit
It is.
that is reconfiguring in an interesting and possibly great way.
Yeah, absolutely. And not to mention, I mean, you said the kitchen part, but they're going to do some virtual sports. What does that look like? Maybe golden tee, maybe a little bit of live action golf. Who knows? But that's going to be fun. That's going to bring in, other than just going to grab a pint with your
Yeah.
mates, on St. Patty's, you might be able to get a slice. You might be able to do a little bit of golfing. I like it.
I like the virtual sports. It gets you moving, and man, we got to give a big shout out to Nintendo because they've been doing it since Duck Hunter way back in the day. You'd be pointing the gun at the screen and like moving around and playing shit. But the Wii, when it first came out, what a revolutionary
with the balance
system.
board?
Yeah, all the things that they did, all the Wii Sports and all that shit was so much
The
fun.
Wii bowling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the goofy nunchuck.
Oh, dude. I mean, awesome stuff. So it's cool to see how far technology has come and getting integrated into, your bars and like, what's a pub gonna look like in 3000 type of shit? Like, what's gonna be in there?
Well, none of us will be around to see that, but
Yeah, just wonder. I mean, are you even going into one? Like,
you know what it reminds me of? That episode of Parks and Recreation where it's like Ron Swanson orders a whiskey neat, and it comes in the form of hand lotion. He's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "No, this is whiskey, but it's a lotion." And then like a shot of vodka is a flash of light. It's this whole like conceptual like whatever deal.
I remember seeing that
Yeah.
one, and it's like a fancy club. You
Yeah,
got the big comfy couches and stuff.
Yeah, where a bunch of dipshit hipsters go to just take pictures of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
basically.
Yeah,
But they
I mean-
do have good taste with vinyls.
That's terrific. Look, it's always great to go grab a pint with your mates at your local spot. So definitely check out Bear Brewing on Broadway. I haven't been at the Triple B alert, Art. The Triple B alert. I'd like to go down and grab a pint with my mates.
you know what neighborhood that's in? Baker.
Baker.
Oh, now we got a quadruple B.
Bear Brewing on Broadway in Baker.
Head on down to Bear Brewing on Broadway and Baker. full send it.
Well played, sir. Well played.
So if you've been tuning into anything Discussion Combustion, man, we actually did a collaboration with Jon of All Trades, Discussion Combustion, Loco Plus. We recorded it last weekend on Saturday the 11th, and it was Discussion Combustion's 200th episode and first live audience episode. Just want to kind of recap a little bit about that, talk about you coming up with Jon of All Trades and having your intro come in. So we got a couple things to cover here.
Yeah, that was fun. Thank you for having me. You guys made me the guest, which is funny because we're here every week. But it's like, let's bring this energy to a live audience. And through Loco Plus, you put together so many content creators. There were people there that I adore. So JD Lopez is also on Mile High Life with us. He does Left Hand Right Brain, and he produces Let's Get Drunk and Talk About Your Wedding.
And he did an
great dude, solid lad.
He did a great bit too.
Super solid.
Yeah, his comedic bit was hilarious.
So his set was good.
Oh, he crushed.
He was cracking people up.
Fantastic.
He was cracking people up.
And then you had Tony Zizas, who I've had on Jon of All Trades, and we'll talk about Jon of All Trades here in a minute because, like, the fact that these milestones are coalescing at the same time is pretty wild. And so we got up there and kind of did our thing. It was a pleasure for me, and I wanted to ask you guys, as you reflect on 200 episodes of Discussion Combustion, what are some of the things that really stand out for you? If you have things that you can pull right off the top of your head, I have some favorite episodes. And I mean, largely they're people that I pushed your way, that I did interviews with, but you did a much different style of interview with them. The one right off the top of my head is Avi Bulow.
Oh, he's great.
We got a little drunk on that.
Yeah.
One.
Well,
awesome.
dude, Avi loves whiskey.
Yeah.
And so we've talked about Avi, but like, you know, I had Adam Salzman come in here.
Yep. Epic.
I had Chad Hattersback.
Epic.
You know, great folks. And you guys introduced me to like Molly Smith, but in terms of milestones for DCPC, are there things that stick out for you guys?
I mean, I think every year and every stage, as we talked about years ago on your show, has added some moments, memories, experiences that stick with me. You know, I try to, because you do so many of them, as you know, interviewing people every single week. We try to remember all of them, right? But sure, there's some that stick out. I mean, like John Rinke, the friendship that we built with him over there at Netflix.
Oh, sure.
That was a big one for us. Starting to get
that's the Tiger King guy, right?
Yeah. That's Joe Exotic's like right hand man.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, well, we'll get into that next week. We got more on Joe Exotic coming, but
okay.
there's some juice coming down the pipeline. But
yeah,
wow.
When it comes to doing 200 episodes of this stuff, man, number one, I think it flew by.
Yeah,
it really did. I mean, 4 years sounds like a long time, I guess, but it still kind of flew by, like 200. You know, we had 200 times that we've sat down on Discussion Combustion and did podcasting. Moving to a studio, I think, was a huge milestone that stood out. Really taking it to a different production level. I think those are the things that stand out to me, and then just trying to really appreciate all the guest experiences and the people that we got to meet, send them, cross networking and things of that nature. It's just such a cool industry. It's so fun to be a part of.
Yeah. What about you, Art?
Absolutely is. I'm fortunate and humbled to be here. The things that really stand out to me is the participation of our guests and their willingness to open up and be vulnerable. Of course, we do our best to make people feel comfortable doing that, but the touching and meaningful stories and important information that's been shared over the years, that's that you can't put a price on that.
Well, dude,
and
like
then,
when you guys interviewed me a couple of times, you and I would cry.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And I remember in that basement where you guys used to do the show, like we'd get emotional just because like we're both very sort of sensitive people. And so if I start thinking about something in too specific a way, my wife and I call it leaking.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's not that I'm crying, but I'm just leaking.
Yeah, because I do the same thing, too.
Yeah, the emotion comes up, and it just leaks out of me.
Yeah.
So
no, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there isn't. See, when I cry, it's like I get choked up. I'm like, I can't even talk, which almost happened to me at the live event because it was humbling moment seeing my dad out there and all that kind of stuff. It was just
your dad was a cool dude. I liked meeting him.
Yeah, Pops is a solid lad.
That was fun.
He's a super solid lad.
John is.
And John enjoyed meeting John.
Oh, yeah. It's
John's.
Two Johns don't make a red here.
John squared.
Yeah.
But second thing that really stands out and is more of a personal and not necessarily selfish, but it's inside me, and that is the fact that I haven't fucking quit on this once. Like, I get challenged all the fucking time, and it's not always easy, and, like, losing girlfriends over this, and, like, seeing, like, how bad do I really want to stick in and make an impact, a positive impact on the world, like, and that challenge to me is something that I don't see ending anytime soon, and it makes me fucking exhausted some days, but it also brings a lot of energy into my life. So those are my big two things out of 200, but, man, 9 years in the game, John. So
what? Is 4 for you guys?
Yeah, 4. So you're really the vet at the table right now. Like, tell us, like, out of your 9 years.
Okay, so today is March 17th.
Yes.
Jon of All Trades launched 9 years ago on March 18th with 3 episodes. So those were my first 3 episodes. The thing that's surreal to me And I wasn't going to bring this up, but here I've already started the sentence. Here we go. 2 out of 3 of those guests are dead.
Ooh,
Isn't that fucking weird?
that is weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have interviewed anyone who's passed away,
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
but
Yes, we have.
it's kind of surreal, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what's funny is, if you interview someone who's passed away, the people who love them will reach out to you and be like, thank you for this.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I have an archive of them having a long conversation, and that is so rare to have that, like, to hear their voice and be able to just hear them, like, engaging and laughing.
Talking normal.
And you guys even have a video, so they get to see their face of them doing this. That, to me, is amazing, because what I tell people is, the people who get interviewed by me, the folks who are going to be most interested in that are the people who already know you. So send that out, because people want a different flavor of people they already know. And it's counterintuitive, because you think, oh, I'm going to give them something they don't know. That's actually a barrier to entry for a lot of people. And that's a weird counterintuitive thing that I've learned over doing this for 9 years. Here's the other thing. Jon of All Trades has done exactly what I wanted it to. It's turned me into a professional podcaster, a professional creative content producer.
Yeah.
This show and Jon of All Trades are 2 of 9 that I work on.
Yeah.
And the fact that I get to do that, and I get to shepherd these to fruition and help people realize the vision that they have for themselves or for their organization, man, it's fucking everything I've ever wanted. So I'm infinitely grateful for what we do here on Happy Friday. Happy Friday wouldn't have happened without DCPC or Jon of All Trades.
It's true.
And the fact that we come together as this sort of 3-headed hydra is fucking amazing, and I feel infinitely grateful for it. So thank you both.
Respect, man.
Yeah, and congratulations again, John, on 9 years. Just incredible. We've
Thank
been
you.
on record so many times, including at the live event. Just the respect, the commitment, the dedication that you put into that show. I would encourage anyone on whether it's this channel or Mile High Life that hasn't listened to Jon of All Trades. I mean, the way you interview people is spectacular. I learned so much from you
Thank
just
you.
listening to your shows, the guests that you have, the way you conduct yourself. It's the highest level of professionalism I've seen in this business.
Thank you. That's overwhelming. My gift to my listeners for 9 years is my interview with Vic Lombardi, who I have the pleasure of working on. Vic Lombardi's Denver. I produce it for him. The collaboration I have with Vic,
Which is another awesome show on the Mile High
Mile High Life. Yeah, like the way that Mile High Life has brought together shows, and like any show under this banner, I would recommend without reservation or hesitation. And so Vic is putting together great shows. The fact that I get to do it is both a blessing and a privilege. And so that is my gift to my listeners for year 9.
Hell yeah. Definitely going to want to check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's awesome, man. And, you know, all I can say to kind of wrap up the pod talk a little bit is I don't listen to podcasts, right? So I do enjoy creating them, and I enjoy being here with people I care about, and try to take some time to talk to somebody that's important in your life. I mean, it's important to have conversations beyond texting, even if it's just over the phone, right?
Hell yeah.
So let's try to get back to that, because when I put my phone down and record an episode and I'm dialed into a conversation, it can be difficult. It could be a little uncomfortable if you're always used to being on your phones. But the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to feel, and the better that it's going to be. So on that, we have some really cool stuff coming up this weekend.
Yeah, okay, so it is March Madness and St. Patrick's Day. If you're coming to this show looking for some shit to do, you fucked up. You failed. That's on you, okay? Literally, there is everything in the goddamn world, and everyone... I ruined my voice. I choked on it. What happened? I don't know. I'm a professional at this. 9 years. I still fucked up. But anyway, if you came here like, oh, what am I going to do this weekend? You fucked up.
Yes.
It's St. Patrick's Day is on a Friday. And by the way, if you have a family and you're listening to this show, like, what should I do with my family? You fucked up.
Like, you should know. There's something to do this weekend.
Like, you'll find it. You'll figure it out. I myself don't go out on St. Patrick's Day, because the 3 of us in this room are professional drinkers. St. Patrick's Day is a night for the amateurs. That's when everyone is like, oh, yeah, let's go drink some green beer, and we're actually going to go out for a change. And you go, nope, everything's going to be more expensive and gimmicky. Right? So you will find good shit if you know where to look. It's not on us. I'm doing music video theater tonight.
Oh, fantastic. The good old pastime.
That's right.
One of these days we'll get invited. Maybe.
We'll see. We'll see.
What else we got going on this weekend, Art?
I mean, I'm going to be doing a whole hell of a lot. I suggest that what's going on this weekend is something that you've been trying to do. Look, I let off and I eased on the brakes a little bit for people for their New Year's resolutions. Look, it's already mid-March already. Like,
crazy.
Are you guys still even focused on what you promised you would do this year? So if you aren't, I would get back to that because it's important to not feel disappointed and not fulfilling the decisions that you told yourself you would do. It's disappointing, and you're disappointing yourself if you're not following through with what you told yourself. So that's what I would do this weekend.
And at the beginning of the year, did you tell yourself that you wanted to work at Coors Field? Because if you didn't, here's your chance, all right? Because they have hiring fairs. We'll have a link in the comments where you can get a job at Coors Field. There's all sorts of things. It is another indication that the bad part of the year, not the bad part of the year, the less good part of the year is ending. The good part of the year starts opening day. Get yourself a job at Coors Field if you want one. They're having hiring fairs. We'll have a link to it. Go check it out.
Absolutely. Scroll down to those show notes, get involved. And the last thing to do this weekend is to wish my very best friend and co-host here a happy birthday, because his birthday is tomorrow, Saturday, March 18th. He's going to be 36 years old. Happy birthday,
Get
brother.
the fuck out, really?
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, Kev. Thanks,
Wow.
brother.
All right, well then, that's what we're toasting to.
Okay.
I did not know that. I probably should have, but I didn't.
Yeah, I threw that at the end of the show. That wasn't planned.
Well
No,
done.
that was nice.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
thanks, guys.
To Arthur's birthday, to St. Patrick's Day, to everyone on Happy
Yes.
Friday and Mile High Life and all the support, 9 years of podcast,
Yes.
4 years, 200 episodes.
200 years.
200
200
years.
years? 200 episodes. Fuck.
200 years.
to 200 years.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
It's good.
That is
so
delicious. Everybody in the Mile High City, everybody in the 5280, thank you so much for tuning in to Happy Friday. Definitely check us out on all the social medias. Happy Friday DEN, that's Happy Friday Den on all the social medias. Email us at happyfridaydenver@gmail.com. We are so happy to be supported by the Mile High Life Network. And you know, like they brought us in, they're going to bring us out. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Bring it in, Fricashinas.